Hello, Hero Collectors here. How's it going, everybody? Hope y'all are doing fantastic. I know I am. And today we're going to be talking about my thoughts on the brand new MCM and Hasbro 1027 events for Transformers, Star Wars, and Marvel Legends. For Transformers and Star Wars, I'm not going to talk about all the products, just the ones that kind of interest me. But for Legends, we're going to talk about just about everything that was revealed. There's a lot of good reveals out there, lots of fun, different things for the different lines, but not everything's for me. If it's for you, that's awesome. Talk down in the comments below. I love to just talk about action figures with anybody, especially these themes, because I can really discuss them. But let's get into my thoughts on the themes. So we're gonna get into Black Series first. I've got my notes down here, and I'm gonna just kind of scoot off to the side so I can put my pictures right here for all you guys. Now, some of the pictures that I gathered are gonna take up the whole screen, and you just kind of have to. I just kind of have to deal with it, I guess, not showing my face. But for Star Wars Black Series at MCM Comic Con, they revealed a couple figures. The two that interest me are Shakti and Luminara. Luminara mainly because hopefully this means we might get a Barris figure, and then I can do a pairing of those two, maybe put them with my 2003 Clone Wars setup, or maybe just my general Clone Wars setup. But if I do that, then do I need other Jedi like Kit Fisto and a few others? I haven't decided yet. Luminara is kind of up in the air for me right now. Shakti, I think, is more solid just because I like her just a little bit more because of the Force Unleashed game and just some other media in general just depicting her really well. So I like her, and I think I'm going to be in on her, but it's not going to be like a day one pre-order type thing. I'll tell you what is a day one pre-order for me, though, is the Deluxe Black Series Savage Press. They showed this off at the 1027 event, and oh boy, am I happy. He looks really, really good. I'm glad he's a deluxe. I was hoping he'd be a deluxe because he's a larger character. He also comes with an axe alongside his lightsaber, which is appropriate from the show. So I think they nailed it with the Savage. I think the only other thing that I would potentially have added is a swappable arm for his robot arm, but maybe that's a different release, or maybe I'm just asking for more stuff than I need. It's possible. I don't know. But he was on my top 10 wish list for next year. So now I get to update my list a little bit and remove him and add a new character. But I'm very, very happy to have him here and coming in the Black Series. Black Series is expanding for me this year. You know, I've been dabbling in a few other characters, trying to really figure out what my display will be in the prequels, Clone Wars era. It just continues to grow. So getting Savage to go with my Maul. Actually, in fact, I'm going to put him with my Season 7 Maul. Or maybe next to Ventress. I haven't decided, actually. So I'm going to hold off on definitively saying where he's going quite yet. Now, getting into the Transformers reveals, let's start with Ape Link. Ape Link has already been shown off on Prime vs. Prime's channel. I'll try to leave a link down in the description below. I'm not friends with him, but I already watched the review to kind of form my thoughts on the figure a little bit. And I haven't really seen any great pictures out there, but he is kind of a retool. Actually, no, he's a retool of the Leader Class Rise of the Beast Optimus Primal. And he looks kind of good. I think the Gorilla mode is the best mode, and which is fitting because that was the only mode he sported in the movie. The chest areas where it kind of breaks or like loses me a bit. It looks a little too much like Primal. I think maybe changing up the colors a little bit would have helped, but when it's in bot mode especially, it looks like an Optimus Primal with some upgrade kits. So it's not a perfect figure. I think I'm still going to get it, but it's not going to be a main one I'm really excited for. I haven't even gotten the Studio Series Primal yet. I need to. I just haven't yet. I will. Moving on from that, they showed some renders, not exactly full figures. And the only one that really caught my eye was the Age of Extinction and Last Night Optimus Prime. To an extent. I think that look is really hard to pull off in Studio Series form. I'm already planning on getting the YOLO Park figure because I think that one just nails the look and it doesn't have to have all the transformation kibble. But this one, it's still potentially one I might get because I can pair it with my Galvatron, and if it can transform and hides it maybe a little bit better in hand than in the render, maybe I'll be happier with it. I don't know. It's one I need to see in-hand images of, not just a image on the computer with, I think they even confirmed it didn't have all the right colors on the image as well. So, we'll see where that one goes. They did show off a full figure for the Bumblebee movie, Bug Bumblebee, and this is one I'm actually really excited about because I really like that look, and I know the previous figures weren't as good, but this one looks really, really good. My only complaint is the front bar section looks a little too white. I would have preferred a little bit more silver, and maybe it will be. Just the images are showing it's like maybe a pearlescent white, and I'm just not loving that. Otherwise, he looks great, and it'll just kind of be my standalone bee that's a live action bug for my collection, so I like that. Then moving on to the 1027 reveals, they showed off Megatronus, one of the Primes, or aka the Fallen, as an all-new leader sculpt in the Age of the Primes subline for Generations. He looks fantastic. He was one of the ones I was wanting for next year. He was on my top 10 wish list. Yes, I'm already prepping those in October, but I want to have those videos prepped so that when it comes time for December, I can have them recorded and uploaded for you guys. But he was on that list because I love the design. I love the flame effects. I can't tell if they're removable on this figure or not, and they didn't really say, but I think it looks really cool either way, and I think it's going to have to be a day one pre-order. it's just such a cool sculpt, and, tank mode or not, I love his robot mode, and that's what he's going to stay as, so a lot of times with the alt modes, I kind of let myself kind of get a feel for how I like them once I get the figure in hand. I try not to pay attention too much for images because usually I play with them as figures and have the alt modes as kind of like a fun play feature that I don't always display because I don't feel like I always have to. Moving on from Megatronus, we actually got our first look at the Studio Series Combiner Devastator with Scrapper and Bone Crusher. I had to make sure I wrote those names down because I could not remember them. They look really good for a starting, base show figure. I don't know what you'd call it. Prototype. It's a prototype. They did say that the greens on the figures that they had in hand are not finished yet. They might do some tweaks here and there, which is fine. I think they look fine as is already. So if they tweak it just a little bit, just to make the greens maybe look a little less plasticky, maybe, I'm still taking them as is, but I'm excited to see where they take it. They also showed off a grayscale model of what Devastator will be, and I'm very, very excited. And I guess I never really looked at some of the old Devastators. I was really hoping that they would do a new Devastator like this. And I guess I didn't realize that he was actually kind of parts for me, which I both like and dislike because I would like the figures to all come with, the parts and pieces to form the Devastator, but at the same time, I also don't want to compromise a lot of the robot modes and the alt modes for Devastator. So I both appreciate that they said that the arm or the hands are part for me, but either way, it's a great release. They're looking great. They did show off, and I'll try to have a picture up here, the kind of timeline plan for next year for these releases. It's going to be 5 different releases. Deluxe and a Voyager early in the year, I think April. The Commander release at about July, I want to say, which is 2 Voyagers plus all the extra bits to form the final Devastator. And then a Voyager and a Deluxe towards September, I want to say, which will complete him. And all of that is fantastic. I am so excited that we're going to be completing him in 1 calendar year. It's going to be a big year for big figures next year because we got Devastator. I pre-ordered the re-release of Scorponok, and then we have a figure I'm going to talk about here in just a minute. Okay, now getting into the Legends, to throw it back to, I think it was New York Comic Con, they showed off the new Not a HasLab Sentinel. I'm not going to get into it. I almost did a video. I decided not to. Turns out I don't really share a lot of the feelings that everybody else does. All I'm going to say is it looks really good. They nailed it with the sculpting. It's a really good release. I just wish it was smaller. And I'm getting 2. So that's all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I don't want to seem like I'm putting negative energy out into the community. That's just it. Those are my feelings, and we're going to move on from it. So getting into the stuff that they revealed at MCM Comic Con, We're getting 3 deluxes for the Captain America Brave New World. Is it Brave New World? New World Order? I can't remember. I really can't remember, actually. But the new Captain America movie is getting 3 deluxes instead of a wave. And they talked about this, that it was, they were at the drawing board and kind of deciding, okay, maybe this won't work, this won't work, this won't work as a wave, so let's put it into the deluxes. So that's what we're getting. We're getting a Sam Wilson Captain America in his new kind of stealth suit. I don't want to call it that, but he looks really good. It's brand new wings. I think there's some brand new sculpting on the costume. I don't know how much of it is actually reuse, if any. And he has the goggle head sculpt and a helmet for like when he goes like supersonic in the movie. That the engineering on the wings is brand new. You know, it's got more pieces, and that they can raise up higher and down a bit lower, so we can get more better flight poses out of him. Then they showed off Joaquin Torres, his Falcon costume, which he has brand new wings for, and I believe that they can reuse those wings for a potential white and red suit Falcon from the Falcon and Winter Soldier show, which they have not given us. So it would just be sculpting a brand new figure, I suppose. But still, I can think they can reuse those wings for a new Sam Falcon if they choose. Back on the Joaquin Torres figure, I think it looks really good. You know, it's in the comics, it was actual like powers that he had that gave him wings. In the MCU, it's a suit just like Falcon. So, you know, I like the translation into the MCU, and I think it looks like a really good figure. You know, we'll see how it feels in hand, how he moves. You know, I haven't seen him in action in the trailers yet, so it's kind of up in the air to see how well this figure will be. And then they showed Red Hulk, which looks really, really good. I have one complaint with it. It's that it doesn't look like Harrison Ford. It looks like a really, really good movie Red Hulk, but it is not Harrison Ford's likeness. And you know what? That's okay. I can work with that. It still looks like a really great figure. Some parts of it look like it's been upgraded pinless, but then the rest of it looks brand new. So I don't know if anything, I don't know what, if anything, is actual reuse, but otherwise this figure looks fantastic. I think that they could repaint and retool the crap out of it for a new Age of Ultron Hulk, a new Avengers 1 Hulk, Thor Ragnarok Hulk. You know, give us some Ruffalo Hulks out of this base body, and I think that would be just amazing. I just think this figure looks amazing, and out of these 3 deluxes, I think he's going to be the only one of the 3 that I pre-order. Then, last but certainly not least, at the 10/27 event, they, of course, recapped the Sentinel. I already talked about that. But they talked about a new render reveal for Marvel Legends, that being the Dark Miss Marvel. Or they called her Dark Warbird. Either way, it's Dark Avengers Miss Marvel. So, I am very happy about that, because as you can see right up here, I'll try to pause the picture, but I have the Dark Avengers right there. We are still missing Marvel Boy. They seem to, you know, a lot of people seem to have forgotten that he has an entirely different costume in the Dark Avengers. Like, everybody's saying that this one up here is our Marvel Boy. No, that's his Young Avengers look. We need a new one for the Dark Avengers. And then for me personally, I'd like Dark Wolverine and Dark Hawkeye updated. Everybody else I'm okay with. I have a retrocarded Symbiote Spidey up there. I have the Thor Ragnarok Ares. I've got the Sentry up there. I think that's it. Is that it? Yeah. And of course, the new Iron Patriot. So this Dark Miss Marvel is fantastic. I love it. I want to complete that team so badly. But I also want upgrades and a new Marvel Boy. So those 3 figures, if you can give that to us, Hasbro, please. And so the figure itself is complete reuse except for the scarf. I think the scarf is new. From the previous Miss Marvel, it looked like the same head sculpt and it looked like the same body. But they didn't show all the accessories, and it's going up November 7th for pre-order. I think this is a multi-pack, because they said we can't show you everything that she comes with yet, but you're going to like it, or something along those lines. And why would they wait to show us a figure of a render? I just think it's going to be a multi-pack and not just a single release, especially since they don't like to release characters the same way so soon. So when they just had that exclusive Miss Marvel, to them reveal this one and have it be the same figure plus a scarf and a new deco, I don't think it's going to be released in a single pack. So I'm saying it's going to be in a multi-pack, and I hope it has some upgrades to the Dark Avengers. So yeah, that was everything. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave your thoughts down in the comments below. What are you guys excited for? Was it in my video? Was it something else that was shown off? I don't collect vintage collection, and there was a couple Black Series that I skipped over. In fact, a whole wave. It was Skeleton Crew. I just don't have an intro. But yeah, you let me know down in the comments below. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you're subscribed. And I hope you all have a great day. I will talk to you all in another video, another post, another time.